Right. So we're back.
Chakra.
Chakra, chakra. So, uh, very good. So there's you've got like this kind of like this woman's kind of humming away, and this guy's doing like his kind of chanting thing along to this kind of this lullaby that is the song of your people. And as he kind of continues to do it, the smoke in the middle of the fire, or like the kind of like the green fire starts to like peak at the top, and the smoke starts to like swirl around it,
Yep.
and rises up into the tent, and kind of like fills it up slightly, and you feel yourself going slightly lightheaded, and as you look down at the orb, you notice that um, the kind of like sparkle, the kind of like stars and sparkles and stuff that were inside it begin to like spiral and swirl around in a kind of almost hypnotic looking way, and you feel yourself drifting off into a kind of a trance-like state.
Okay.
Um, and as you kind of like gain kind of unconsciousness, you find yourself standing in the middle of what you immediately recognise as the plains of Valmella.
Okay.
And looking around you, you can see the areas that you've been to, these like places that look familiar, but none of your people are around. As you kind of look up and you can see the stars that you're kind of used to seeing above you,
Yeah.
used to seeing above your head, and they're like just you kind of just like walking about in that kind of area. Um, as you as you look back down towards the ground, you see that the earth, like the ground, starts to go kind of fall away from you, and you start
Okay.
kind of like floating up into the sky, and you kind of go further and further back into the towards the stars and towards space, and you can see that the ground below you becomes not so much like you don't see any kind of sea, you don't see any surrounding land, you just see this kind of floating continent just
Okay.
floating in the middle of space. And you continue to get further out until you can like kind of see it all in one gaze. And as you kind of like watch from the stars, you see on the continent you can make out what you recognise as some of the deities of the land, including your own, so including Desna and the other kind of group of your clan for Sarene.
Yeah.
Serene?
Serenity. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can notice a lot of other ones. Some of them you recognise, a lot of them you don't. And they're kind of like in their various in the various lands that they control, or the lands that people worship them within the continent. So you can see that where you are, like where you are just now, there seems to be some kind of like nature deity that's kind of in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you look round, you can see all the deities of the land. They're all, some of them are praying, some of them are kind of like standing in kind of like or like looking kind of like majestic. Some of them are standing in celebration, but they're all kind of like just kind of standing about, looking fairly content and happy. But as you look down to the east on the continent, where's it? Lost my place. Yeah, you see one deity that looks a lot different from the others. This one looks frail and is kind of shrouded in a dark mist. And as you look down on it, you see that this deity is surrounded by a kind of like infinite darkness that's kind of swirls and churns around him and seems to have like a life of its own. And as you're watching it, the darkness starts to encroach and then head out and goes across the continent and begins to kind of consume and can take over all the deities of the land, and until the entire continent is just covered in this darkness.
Okay.
And then it slowly begins to like seep down into the ground, leaving it looking kind of corrupted and dead, and everything looks destroyed. But you can see the deities that were once there now look kind of just like ruined and destroyed, and they like you can see like their skin's peeling off them. They don't have that kind of like light to them that they used to have. They look more dead than alive. And then as you're kind of like looking around, you can see all these deities. You can see Desna, that you kind of like the kind of like images that you'd seen of this deity before. She now looks like almost as if she would be like dying. And as you kind of look down, she starts to like turn and look towards you, and then you notice that all the other deities on the continent look towards you, and just kind of like are staring directly like into your soul, and you get this feeling of like this kind of like this darkness kind of encroaching on you and kind of starting to overwhelm you, and it starts to like kind of cloud your vision, and it like it kind of starts to kind of overtake you, and then just as the kind of like final lights of the stars start to go out, you hear the barking of Nashoba, kind of like in the distance, and it kind of like pulls you out of it, and you wake up back in the tent that you were in.
Perfect.
Looking down still at this orb that is now kind of like settled down and is now back to the way it was. And as you kind of look over, the chief is kind of like the chief has stopped his chanting, and his wife stopped doing like kind of like humming bit of it, and they're both kind of looking at you, and you're kind of like laid slightly, you're kind of like laying slightly on your side, and they're kind of like you're kind of like they're like he's standing kind of slightly over you, just looking down at you, and he says, "Have you seen all you wanted to see?"
I saw many things. The understanding of them is a different matter.
He says that's more or less what I was expecting. It's like it's not always obvious what our paths will be or what our destinies will be, but it's good to have the stars to look upon to find it.
I thank you for your aid. I have some friends with me that did not approach the camp with myself and my comrade Jonas. Would I be able to bring them in, and possibly for us to stay here for a while? We have some questions, not just about the eye for you.
He's kind of like all this time been looking quite stern and quite serious, and at this point he kind of smiles and kind of lightens up a bit and sits up straight again and says, "Of course, my home is welcome to you anytime. Feel free to stay here for as long as you wish. However, I must tell you, as I'm sure you would be aware, we tend to move on within the next couple of days, but
we should not stay that long."
It's like, well, for now, you may stay and party with us, and your friends are welcome. I'll make word to the guards to look out for the people who you say are with you. If you give me a kind of like brief description, I'll.
One is a gnome. You will notice him by his very flamboyant and flowery shirt. If you approach him, he may present his fingers and pretend they are guns, but they are no more than just sparkly lights. And he will be with a woman.
Okay. He says that's a fairly exact description. I'm sure there won't be many that come through with that, matching that.
Also, if he asks for any of your pigs, do not give him one.
It's like we don't. There's no pigs in this area.
Animals, women, just don't give him anything.
As you say women, he looks over at his wife and she's just like. But yeah, so he gets like one of the guys that was outside to come in and explains to him to look out for a gnome in the Hawaiian shirt that might do finger guns. And the guy goes out and kind of like heads outside, and he says, "We have some places you could stay, and some places like some kind of tents that you could stay in, if that's okay with you."
That would be perfect, thank you.
And he says, "And to your friends, they are welcome to stay with you. And like I said, it's as long as you want, but we will be moving on."
We will not be long past your most recent departure.
Cool. So at this point, he's like, you can tell like he's kind of like he's not like shoving you out, but he's like he's not really got much else to do.
I will get up, stow away the eye, say thank you again for all you have shown me. I will ponder these things. If I have any further questions on my visions over the time that I'm here, would I be free to come and speak to you?
He says, of course, anything I know or anything I can help you with, please let me know. And any other troubles you may have, I'll be happy to help. And he kind of and as he says, and to your friends, I know I might not be as great a help to them, but I would be happy to help them with any troubles they have as well.
Most likely, my friends and I will return to speak to you about our collective issues once we are settled.
He says, well, if possible, could that wait until tomorrow? For tonight, we can party. And then he kind of like, yeah.
As you wish, Chief. As you wish.
Right.
Would you have given me his name?
What's his name? Is it Awata? I think it's Awata.
Awata.
Chief Awata.
As you wish, Chief Awata. My friends, especially the gnome, will be happy for the party.
Is that it? Yeah. Cool.
And then I'd probably turn to leave and meet Jonas at the door.
Okay, so as you come out, Jonas, you've just been kind of standing out there.
Roughly how long was I in there for, Graham?
I was just about to say.
Alright, okay.
As you come out, you notice it's not pitch black, but it's definitely like nighttime has hit. And so, Jonas, what have you been doing whilst you've been waiting? You've been waiting for like 3 hours, probably.
I'm literally still just standing at the door.
Right. So you've just been standing there for 3
And then
hours.
he comes round, I turn round and just go, "What were you doing in there?"
You heard singing. There was some chanting going on.
There.
It was a wild ride. A wild ride. One day I will explain to you, friend. But for now,
Not
for now
today.
we must get the others. Chief Awata has said that he can help us with our issues.
And apparently we have many issues. So just like wander off.
Okay. So you guys head into camp, and you're kind of escorted by one of the people that was outside the tent, who have literally been kind of like not standing as diligently as Jonas. Some of them have left and wandered off to do other things. Some of them came back. But yeah, this guy comes up and he's like, the chief has said to provide you with accommodation. If you follow me, I'll show you to where you can be staying. So he kind of like takes you around to near the back of the camp, and just kind of like points out a smaller, not a smaller tent, but like a kind of it doesn't look as if it's like well set up, because it's like a kind of spare one, or one they've just kind of quickly put up for you. Anywho, Thonan, what have you been doing for the past 3 hours?
Fucking sleeping and perusing my first edition of the Luminous Lexicon.
Okay.
It's a book, Soulsby.
Yeah.
I understood that one.
Mira's not really been sleeping. She's been kind of like meditating next to you.
Yeah, but she's some weird fucking hippie bitch. I don't care. I need sleep.
Okay.
She's a do nothing bitch. Of course she didn't do anything, Graham.
But basically, like at some point, she just kind of opens her eyes and says, "Our friends have moved from the tent they were in."
Fantastic news. How very interesting. Please tell me again.
It's like, I think we should go in and join them now. I feel it is suitable for us to continue.
Oh, you feel it's suitable, do you? That's very interesting. Well, you go be suitable.
It's like, well, okay. Just gets up and starts walking in.
I'm gonna wait until she's kind of headed off
Okay.
on her fucking Todd, and then I'm gonna get up and follow her.
Okay. So
I'm not gonna follow her. I'm just gonna wander in. I don't give a shit what she's up to. I'm just gonna wander.
okay, as you kind of walk up, you see that she's been stopped by a couple of people, and she's basically there's a couple of guys that are standing talking to her, and they're kind of insisting, being like, how have you found this place? Like, how have you got here? Blah blah blah. And then as you walk up, one of them goes, "It's the funny gnome." And the other guy's like, "I understand now. We've been awaiting your arrival."
Tell you fucking room, Graham.
Oh, god damn it, Graham!
Jesus. Anywho,
Sorry, I missed that. Was that like an enforcement of?
no, that was my mum coming in, not understanding what was going on, coming back in again and looking and being like, what are you doing?
Just sparked her up, Graham.
I know.
Fucking step the line.
Anywho, so yeah, as you kind of like walk up to these guys, they realise like that you and Mira are the people they've been told about, and they say, oh well, your friends are further at the back, and just point to where the tent that the other two are at. I'm assuming you just keep walking, like you're literally just like, yep, it's me, and then just keep going.
Yeah, except as I'm like going away and being like, by the way, it's like I'm not a gnome, it's a disguise, and I'm gonna use alter self to turn myself into an orc for 1 second, and then turn myself back.
But isn't alter self you have to be able to like have?
Isn't it the same size category?
So you'd be
It's a medium or small-
gnome-sized orc.
Oh, is it a medium
It's
size?
not-
Medium.
any
Yeah.
medium or small humanoid thing, and the only non-medium humanoid is a giant.
Perfect.
So he can't do it. So he can't just become an orc for.
I'm literally like turning into an orc and just kind of go like shh, and then go back into a gnome and then just carry on walking.
Right.
It's Shrek. It's Shrek.
These guys have probably never seen an orc, so like
That's fine.
you just freaked them out slightly.
I haven't seen a gnome in a Hawaiian shirt either.
No, they haven't. So yeah, these guys are kind of
Should've
freaked.
turned into the fucking like local lord. That would have been funny as fuck.
Two firsts in the same day.
No, because we realised that alter self doesn't actually like disguise him; it makes him into another type of creature.
Yeah, it's literally like changing my whole fucking setup.
Oh,
And it does only last 3 minutes, hence I only did it for like a second. So I have 2 minutes and 59 seconds remaining for the day.
I don't think that's how it works. I think you use the spell and that's it.
I call bullshit.
Well, it's a spell slot. If you,
okay, it's just about to change the next day, so I think we'll be fine.
yeah, I think you'll be all right for resting up and getting your spells.
Yeah, especially
any-
for our reasons.
Anywho,
Can't let facts get in the way of a good story.
no, apparently not. So you guys head in towards the camp, and you're escorted to the tent that they're in, and yeah, you basically kind of meet up, and I don't know, say what you will.
I would just I'd show them all to the tent that we've been assigned. Say we have been invited to stay here for the next couple of days, but they will be moving on soon. Apologies for not announcing you earlier on. I thought it'd be best to see how they reacted to me and what I had to say before pulling you all in.
You're just kind of nods.
Did we find out what they want?
I have not broached that subject yet. I merely wanted them to trust us first, and then we can discuss that.
Right. Okay. Wait. You said
However,
where are they going?
they move constantly. They are like my people. They are a tribe that moves.
So
However, they on the back of the news that I have brought them today, they have offered us a party this evening for our presence, and we will discuss our business with them on the morrow.
Alright, that's all well and good, but if these people fuck off before we get a good bargain out of them, then we're just going to be stuck with that.
They will be here for 2 days. That is plenty of time to discuss.
Why do they have such an issue with this dude if they're just going to leave?
Oh,
I think
will
they're
be
leaving to like a
far.
different
They just
area
move
there.
around the forest. It's not as if they're going to go away and we'll never see them again. We could follow them if we wish.
So they don't move very far. They don't move far enough away from the hill to not be pissed off that someone. I don't get these fucking hippies.
They constantly move around the forest so as to never take too much from one place.
Cool.
Okay.
What else?
So you guys settle in.
I cannot ask you to understand. You're a strange person, and these ways must be strange to you.
Yeah, you guys settle in, and like as the kind of next hour or so passes, a lot of the people are moving about the camp, kind of getting food together and kind of setting stuff up in the center of the camp. And you can see there's a lot of people. There's like a lot more people that were out earlier on. So obviously, like scouting parties or people who are out in the forest doing various things have came back, and they're all kind of in the center of this camp. just gathered round the main fire, which has currently got some kind of four-legged animal that's roasting on it. It's not a pig.
Well, that's my question answered.
Yeah, you guys are like sitting. You're not like right in the center, because there's the kind of like chief sitting with his wife, and then there's a couple of kids sitting next to them that you can assume is his family, and then to either side there's a couple of kind of other families with kind of well or like similarly dressed men at the head of it, and same with their wives. They're just kind of sitting all around this kind of main center area, and then from that going outwards there's like varying different families that are sitting about just getting food and chatting to each other, and you guys are like slightly off to the side.
So we've been like panned off.
No, you're in the kind of area. You're just not right smack in the center, because that would seem weird. And who would do that in a, like any kind of setting?
That sounds like we've been panned off, lads.
I thought you were like the party animal, though. Can you not work your way in?
Yeah, but I don't. Why would I want to party with hippies?
I don't know. They might be fun. Might have some
They
stuff.
have
They might have some stuff they could give you.
Yeah, apparently, old Hakon over there went on a pretty wild trip earlier, so there could be something decent in here.
Right, I'm just gonna wander off and try and find, like... Who are you looking for? I'm just gonna wander off and see if there are... What kind of people are these again? Are these all, like, are they humans? Like, is it a mix of, like, different kind of races, or...?
It's mainly humans. There's a couple of half-elves that are kind of dotted around, but then it kind of... They're, like, barely half-elves. Like, you can see that maybe, like, a couple of generations down, like, their family line, there was, like, an elf or, like, a half-elf, and it's just kind of, like, thinned out from there. There's a couple of halflings that are just kind of about. There's, like, a couple of families of them. But that's about it, really. There's not really any kind of, like, huge diversity to it.
Who are you looking for? Halflings tend to be these weird, like, fucking families. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just go up to the nearest bunch of, like, obviously bachelored dudes who are drinking
Okay.
and ask where are all the white women at.
Right, so you get some funny looks. These guys are the guys that were like kind of watching the camp earlier on. So they're either like guards or people who have been kind of put to watch the camp, and they're all just kind of sitting around one kind of like not really a table, because they don't really have tables, but they've got like a kind of like small.
What kind of fucking savagery is this?
They're like hippies, man.
We
It's,
don't have tables.
nah, it's like all got.
Nature will hold our beverages. Fuck off.
No, they've got like little cups and stuff, but it's just like a kind of like large platter thing that they're eating off of.
Oh no, why are they allowed cups? You can eat with your hands. Like, what is this?
No, you can't drink with your hand though.
You definitely fucking could. I'll fucking...
Out of what? At some point, you need some kind of like thing to hold the water.
Like
Yeah,
that.
where are you getting the water from?
A stream.
There isn't a stream in this clearing. There's a stream in the last clearing.
That's their fucking problem. They chose a shit clearing.
No, there's probably a stream nearby that they can get water from, but they'll bring it back in like buckets and stuff.
This irrational cognitive dissonance is hurting my brain.
What do you want them? You want them to just have a house and just
I
have...
just want them to tell me where all the white women at, but they're just making it so difficult by their own stupidity. It's,
Okay. So they look down like, I don't understand, like, many of the women here are white.
Right, who said that?
Just one of the guys, just the first
Has he
one, the
ever
closest to
drank
you.
in his hand?
Yes.
Right, I'm gonna drink it.
Just gonna grab it off him and drink it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sink his beer. Or whatever he's drinking. It's probably something gay like herbal tea.
It's not really something you've tasted before. It's kind of like fruity and has a kind of slight kick to it, but it's not horrible.
Fruity like everything in this fucking place.
We're gonna get thrown out.
So he's just like, I see for a small fella you have a large thirst. It's like, would you like to join us for a proper drink?
Yeah, sure, why not? Thirst buckets, let's go.
So he leans over to like a kind of like larger bucket thing they've got and kind of dips a cup in and hands you it.
Has the bucket got metal on it?
No.
Okay, good.
Why?
Well, I'm completely against that. That might trigger me.
Nothing else so far
triggered.
has.
Yeah, sure. What is this? I'll just sink this booze.
It's one of the girls in the camp's concoctions. It's like it's like she makes it with some of the fresh fruit in the area. She makes it with some kind of like it's basically like she takes like a kind of grain and makes it in a kind of like a vodka style thing and mixes it with it. So it's basically like vodka and fruit juice.
Interesting. I let them know that I'd make her something with my fresh fruit.
They all kind of laugh and then like clink glasses and stuff. They don't go bada 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 though. They don't do that.
Oh,
That'd be too far.
Disappointing. There's no fucking tables. That's why they can't do it. This is the problem.
They'd just be hitting cups off
The
her
Lord
leg.
has plenty of tables. I'm sure he would give them some for
Yeah,
a
he
fair
had-
I
price.
mean,
Oh,
the
God,
pros and
don't
cons
say
are
that.
They're lining up on like.
It's like tables,
right,
no tables.
Are we like a couple of drinks in then?
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna ask these guys what they actually do.
Okay. So they just kind of tell you that they look after the camp. They like keep watch. Or do you mean like the camp in general, or do you mean just them?
Yeah, I mean, like, I know you watch the camp. That's all very, very good. What does the camp do?
It's like, what do you mean? What do we do? We live. This is our lives.
Right, so you live. So you just kind of you go from place to place, just living, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I heard you guys had some beef. I don't know if, and I don't mean you eat beef. With these idiots that live up on the hill that are obsessed with wood.
It's like, oh, you mean the people in the town? It's like, well, we are strongly against the ways in which they have been working, if you could call it that.
Let me
So
guess,
yes,
you
we
don't
have a
like
beef.
They cut down. They don't cut down a lot of trees. They cut down too many trees. I take it that's what you don't like.
It's like, well, this forest is our sacred home. Like, cutting it down is not something we could ever be happy with.
Well, what do you guys make these cups out of?
It's like we take a small amount from the forest, and we always make sure to replenish what we have taken. They take without thinking. They take without consideration for any of the wildlife or any of the care of the forest.
So if some sort of negotiation could be reached for them to have a more sustainable farming model, you'd be okay with that.
He just kind of looks at you. He's like, what? He understood some of those words.
So if they chop down less trees, plant more trees, you okay? Yes.
He's like, maybe. I don't know. Like I wouldn't. It's like I wouldn't really know. Like, and he just kind of looks about at the other guys, and the other guys are like, well, the elders of our clan would make those decisions, but I mean, the amount that they would have to take for it to for the forest to be sustainable would be far less than what they're taking now. Like, I don't see how that would work out.
Well, if they found something else that they could peddle to make wares in their town other than wood, they wouldn't have to take so much wood, and you guys would probably be better off because they wouldn't cut down so many fucking trees.
Perhaps that could work. We would rather not be directly opposed to them. We would rather we were able to live together. But I mean, some situations where we can't be happy with. And kind of like the other guys are like, up until this point, we've not made any direct head-on action against them. We've been kind of trying.
I'm sure you've been planning a very serious leaflet campaign. Don't worry. Actually, no, because leaflets are made out of paper. I misspoke.
They make them out of hemp.
I can get behind that.
So yeah, what?
That noise.
I don't know. What are the other guys doing during their
I don't know.
time?
But something is. Who the fuck is making that noise?
What noise?
I think it's something on your end, Will.
Yeah,
Because I
there's
don't hear
no
anything.
noise.
I don't know.
What does it sound like?
I don't know. I just heard it sounded like a YouTube video started, but I didn't have any. Sorry. Yeah, I was just kind of quizzing them. It's obviously one of these deals where this like one dude makes all the fucking decisions, which is really clever.
No, it's not one dude. They've got a couple of elders. Like,
Oh right, I thought it was a patriarchy and it was just that dude.
no, he's the head, but there's other people who are like his like seconds and thirds in command. Like there's you can see like round that kind of main campfire. There's a few kind of the families that are around there that look to be the ones that are kind of in charge.
Have the biggest penis.
Yes, that's how they decide.
They have a chopper off.
Oh god.
They have a ritual chopper off every year to decide who's the new alpha.
Yeah, and if
This
if
community is
MD's
getting
grown, it
better.
can fuck with everything.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit and drink with these lads today. I'm not really in the mood to discuss any more like political matters, especially when people are bev, because it's. Although as long as I'm bevved, it's probably okay because I could probably put up with more of their shit than normal. But it's fine.
Right, so Jonas, Hakon, what are you doing?
I would literally just be chilling with Hakon and Mira, just getting pissed.
Okay. Mira has kind of went off and is talking to kind of
Of course she
like
has.
a group of them within it, and she's kind of like showing them some of the stuff that she's got.
Oh, I bet she is. Fucking do nothing, bitch.
She's like just talking to some of the people in the camp, and you can see that she's kind of getting on quite well with them.
I would go looking for the hunters in
Okay.
the clan, and probably just share a drink with them and just discuss the sort of like goings on in my clan and just find out a bit more about the differences between the two.
Okay. So you're kind of chatting away to them. There's like their hunting style is fairly different to yours, so there's quite a lot for you to kind of pick up and questions that you could have, and like why do you do this and why do you choose to do this differently? And it's mainly just because when you guys are hunting, you're out in the kind of open plains, so it's more about like closing the distance to what you're trying to catch without actually like spotting you or getting to you, which is a lot more difficult. Whereas they have a lot more of an ability to kind of catch them by surprise and catch them from like the tree line and stuff. So yeah, it's just kind of like you're just kind of picking up a lot of information on that.
Perfect.
So Jonas, you've basically just been like ditched and you're on your own now.
I'm fine with that.
You cool? You're just gonna sit and chill? Cool. Right, so you guys spend the rest of the night just chilling and chatting and getting on with these people and just seeing what's up, and you eventually kind of like settle in for the night and just rest up. So in the morning, Thonan, how bad is your hangover?
I don't know. I'm imagining I have to do a con save
Go for it.
or a force save.
Yeah.
Roll not 20, D20. Should be terrible. Pretty bad.
Yeah, you're pretty bad. You're pretty hanging. So yeah, you don't get up until like, I don't know, almost midday. It's like everybody else is up and out, and you're just kind of groaning and rolling about inside this tent. I mean, you've got the whole tent to yourself now, so you're quite a lot of space for you. Kind of
Especially for a gnome.
yeah. You just kind of like sprawl out in the middle of this
Poor man
place,
takes
just
himself.
groaning about how you've drank too much. But yeah, everybody else kind of heads outside, and the place looks a lot kind of quieter, a lot calmer than it was. It's more like it was when you first arrived. A lot of the people have went off. They're obviously doing stuff further out into the forest. A lot of the people are either inside their tents or just sitting outside working and making stuff and doing whatever their role is within the tribe. So, what's the plan for the day?
I'm assuming me and Hakon got up kind of early and just went
Not
to see the
tonight.
chief.
What was that, William?
Not
He's
tonight.
not dying. I'm assuming me and Hakon went off and saw the chief. Like pretty
Yeah,
early.
when I got up, I would have waited for the majority of the party to rise. Not really put any stock in Will getting up at any time soon.
Okay.
So just gone off. once he-
How apt.
Cool. So yeah, you go in fairly early in the morning. The chief's kind of sitting round. There's a couple of people directly across from him in his tent as you go in. You're kind of like you're let in, but you're told like It's like the chief is seeing someone, but just go in and wait, and he'll see you.
I'd go in and kind of sit on a patch of ground towards the side.
Okay, so you go in, and a couple of the people that are across from are kind of. You hear them kind of giving like a report back to him. It's like we scouted further off towards the side of the town as you asked. We don't really have anything in particular to report. There was no movement of any of the Lord's men within the forest for tonight. But we'll watch again tonight and let you know, and then just kind of like turn and head out. And then the chief looks over to you and greets you and says, "Good morning. I hope you had a good night with us. I hope you're not too worse for wear today."
Thank you, sir. Yes, it was a most enjoyable experience. I learned a lot from some of your people. Oh, 1 second.
Tidy your goddamn room, Alistair.
What was that?
Your room's a mess.
Actually, he was just saying that he will not be able to give me a lift to work in the morning.
Scumbag.
I know, eh? So
Right,
yeah,
So,
You were speaking.
yeah.
I think I'd finished myself.
You finished, right?
Okay,
Okay.
cool. It's like I turn to the chief and be like, Chief, I'm sure my partyman here informed you yesterday, but we have some questions for you relating to, the real matter that we are looking for you, and we're hoping if you could help us out.
It says anything I know, I'll be happy to share with you. Anything you wish to know.
It appears to be something that you have just been dealing with.
It's like he kind of like looks over at his wife and then just kind of looks back. Is like, is this to do with the nearby town?
It is, Chief. It is, Chief. What was his name again?
Awata?
Awata. I wrote it down, but I couldn't read it. Very
Good
strange.
stuff.
Excellent.
Azarek.
All those handwriting skills. Anyway, Chief. Yeah, yes, Chief Awata it is to do with the town.
It's like I see. Like what?
We have come by some information that both you and the town are not happy with the current living arrangement. Is that correct?
It's like I couldn't speak for anyone who lives in the town, but it's not that we.
Obviously, I mean more of yourself.
Yeah, it's like it's not that we are unhappy with them specifically. It's just their actions towards the forest in which we live in. It's like I have no problems with any other people living wherever they choose, but
I fully understand. I've seen the destruction firsthand, and I can understand why you're wishing this to end. However, we believe that the mayor of the town is not necessarily directly involved in the goings-on at the lumber mill now, and we were wondering if you have seen any comings and going in the lumber mill, specifically a couple of children that we're looking for.
it's like, it's just he says, so you do not have any direct interest in fight like no, it kind of says fighting, but then it stops and says helping one side or the other in this situation.
At the moment, we are mostly, I am mostly interested in if any information you have on the children, the aid in either direction. As much as my mind has been made up, I am in a democracy here, and it would be up to my comrades to discuss.
Okay, he nods. He says, so who are these children that you're looking for?
They are the children of the local lord, and they have gone missing very recently. We have some suspicions as to where they may have gone, but nothing concrete as of yet. And I was wondering if during your scouting of the lumber mill, your scouts may have returned any information on them.
Okay, as you say it, you can see that like I don't know, like he's kind of trying to choose his words carefully at this point.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that he's like he's annoyed that you're trying to help the Lord. It's just the fact that he doesn't want you to think that he would be like at all happy with it, kind of thing. So he's like,
Yeah.
so he says,
Can I just kind of butt in there before he
Sure.
starts? And for like, well, Chief, I just thought, knowing your involvement with the local Lord, we are to insist that we're not doing this as a favour to the Lord or anything. We are merely concerned with the safety of 2 innocent children, rather than helping the Lord out himself. I'm sure you may have heard his wife is far more liked and reasonable than he is, and also the 2 children have nothing to do with his doings or
I
the
agree.
doings of his family.
I agree. We have had some experience with this lord, and he is not held in the best regards amongst us either.
okay. So he kind of starts nodding. He's like, I would not wish the loss of one's children against anyone, regardless of what they are doing. So it'd be a terrible thing to happen. And he says, my men have been giving some interesting reports over the last while. We've been trying to keep an eye on any kind of goings on around the town, and the kind of comings of going of many of the men that work there and serve the Lord. We didn't, for a long time, we didn't really find anything interesting. Groups would come into the forest, they would move around, they would often get lost and head back out, or they would find areas that they would wish to stop in. Occasionally, they would find some of the clearings within the forest that over the years our tribe has stayed in. He kind of looks, and he's like, you can tell he's kind of like counting in his head. He's like, we believe there are 8 or 9 clearings within the forest that we have made out over the last few hundred years. And then he says, within a couple of them, they have built small structures. We're not sure why, but they look to be places for their men to come to whenever they're moving through the forest. They're often used for supplies or transporting things, or just a place for them to stop. However, recently we heard, or some of the scouts reported, that one of these buildings in particular was getting a lot more interest than usual.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we didn't look into it, as much as we are opposed to their actions, we're still not sure of what we wish to do in response. So we don't want to make any kind of acts of aggression that would cause problems for our tribe.
That's understandable, sir.
He says, I'd be happy to let you know. I can pass on the information of where these buildings are, but what they're used for exactly, I'm not entirely sure. But that's the main interactions we've had with the Lord as of recent.
I would thank you for the location of these huts. The one that is particularly well tread, and also the others would be of would be of very great use to us and in our investigation.
Okay,
Holy
so
shit, my head looks so red. Sorry.
yeah, your head is very red.
Are you taking niacin?
Yeah, I took a niacin a while ago. Fucking-
Your arm as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
the
like
head.
that's normal color.
Yeah.
Niacin's a bitch.
I would just turn to this, Chief, if we could also get the names of the scouts that have been doing the work for you, so that we could talk to them personally about what they've seen. Of your account of things, it was exactly what we were looking for, but maybe they may have more information for us to help us within.
Perhaps they saw
our
something.
goings.
Perhaps they saw something that they dismissed, but with some questioning, they may be able to remember something that helps us.
Says that's fair enough. He kind of looks round to his wife, and his wife kind of says out and says the names of the people. Hang on, give me a second. I can actually get them.
Jim, Tom, and Tam.
No, I've got one. There's 2 of them.
Wilbur Higgins the third.
No.
Jouy Louis.
Okay, we're not having that.
Okay.
Is it Tim Tebow?
Brian.
Are you serious? I'm literally... Yeah, okay. Fuck it, that'll do.
Timothy Toboas.
Okay, Pyron and Jagon.
Pyron and Jagon.
Yep. Fuck it. I was trying to use like a generator thing to get names, and I was trying because I've tried that before, and it's usually quite good. But it was literally giving me like the same 2 names. I was like, right, well, I'm taking them then.
Is Jagon's middle name Jeremiah?
They don't have middle names. They're similar to your clan.
Is his surname what?
They don't have surnames either.
So you're saying his name is not Jagon Jeremiah what?
No.
Or
Okay.
GG. Is his last name SWAT instead?
I'm pretty sure his name's I'm pretty sure his last name's Watts, not Watts.
Okay, excellent, perfect.
So SWAT.
Logic. Right, let's
SWAT.
continue, please.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, would these two be fairly easy to find, Chief, or do we have to go looking somewhere particular at this point in time?
No, if you head out and ask one of the men at the door, or that's just outside, they'll direct you to them. They should be in camp just now, as they'll have returned this morning.
Well, would Thonan be up and about by now?
Thonan, are you up and about by now? Are you roasting in your own tent?
Dyson, he...
Stewing its own juices.
I can get up and wander about.
Okay.
Do these people, please tell me these people eat meat of some description.
Yeah, of course they do.
Oh, thank fuck.
They're not mental.
They're vegan.
No, they're not vegan.
I would have had to kill people as soon as I heard that.
Yeah, if they were vegan, we wouldn't be helping the Lord very quickly.
There also wouldn't have been an animal roasting on a fire last night.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, sorry, I was too drunk.
I didn't even know what I was eating. I was just getting handed things.
I wasn't eating that much. That's probably why I'm so hungover.
Got to balance
Yeah,
it.
I'm just gonna try and make
That's
my
how
way
you
to the
end up gay
nearest
for
smell
pay.
of food.
Okay, so you just head out and you kind of get breakfast.
I'll attempt to like scramble.
Breakfast is mainly like leftovers from the previous night, but there's enough stuff you can kind of.
It's fine with me. It works with food. Works with birds. I don't care.
Okay, so yeah, you guys head out and see and speak to the guys at the kind of entrance that tell you where they are, and they're kind of over near the back of the camp, where they've got like a bit where they keep all their kind of gear and equipment and stuff that they use for.
Does Thonan look like a bit of a just total mess right now?
Yeah, he looks like a bit of a
That isn't
cretin.
gonna
Yeah.
be very useful. Right, so I'm just gonna ignore the fact he's up and just walk straight over to where these 2 scouts are and let him like stew.
Okay, so as you go out, you notice that Mira's still kind of out in the village, just chatting to people and kind of going about and
Fucking
talking to different
Do
families.
nothing. What a do nothing bitch.
She's doing stuff.
You say that.
Nothing, bitch.
She's definitely just chatting to them to get fucking some pipe laid.
Some pipe. All right. So, okay, yeah. So you guys walk up and like you find the guys that you're looking for, and they're like fixing equipment and stuff and looking to just kind of. It looks as if they've like just came back in from like a night's watch, and are like putting their stuff away, and now their watch is over.
I would just go up to them and like, excuse me, are you Pyron and Jagon?
Close enough.
Sorry, you gave me totally retarded names.
Hey man, they're like nomadic druids. They don't give a fuck about names. When you go and speak to some normal people in a normal place, I'll give you some normal names.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah. So they turn around and they're like, "Oh yes, I've heard that you and your friends had joined the were staying here. And which of you is with the Valmella?" And he kind of looks at Hakon. He's like, "It is you, isn't it?"
It is me, sir. It is me. We are. The chief has said that you have been scouting the nearby area recently, and you have found some huts that the villagers have been setting up. Is that correct?
Yes, there was. Well, they've been there for a fairly long time, and the other guy's like a number of years. But we haven't really decided to mess with them for now. As if we were to go in and destroy them or kill off anyone who's inside, it might cause problems. So we've just kind of kept an eye on, make sure they're not doing anything.
You're very quick to jump to violence, sir.
It's like, no. The point is, we're not quick.
I was merely wondering. The chief said that some of them, in particular, have been getting a lot of attention recently, much more so than in recent times. Um, is there perhaps could you give us a bit more of a detailed report as to what's been going on? As all the chief said was that they've been getting a bit more attention.
He says, well, for a long time they were only used once every few months, and it would only ever be like a 2 or 3 men that went out to one of these places and stayed there and went about the forest. And we believe they're mapping areas that they wish to carve out for their ways.
I
However,
shake my head as I'm noting this down.
yeah, your little pad. And he says, however, we noticed that one of them for the last week has had men going to and from it at least daily, and we've still not been we've not seen any kind of obvious action from them from this. However, there's clearly something going on there. We hope it's nothing to do with the safety of the forest. And they both kind of look concerned. They're just kind of like looking at each other and like, yeah, well, we've kept eyes on them and made sure that there's nothing too worrying happening there.
Okay.
I just kind of brought him like, well, one thing, have you noticed any children that have been taken there and may not have left yet?
We kind of look at each other as like, we've not, up until we noticed there was more activity, we hadn't kept a high amount of watch on it. We would do our patrol around the forests. There's varying groups that go around, and ours was to go around that at one point, and we just kind of took note that there was more people. We didn't see any children going in. No.
Okay, thank you for your help.
But like I said, we only started watching it in the last few days as we noticed there was more people coming and going.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Have you noticed anything else strange going on in the forest recently?
Nothing that's out of the ordinary for these times with what's going on. Every time, sometimes when we go off to go on a patrol, we reach a part of our route and find that the trees that were once there are now gone, or that some areas have been cleaned out of wildlife and various things. But I wouldn't say that. It's sad to say, but that's not out of the ordinary for this area now.
So, well, thank you very much, sir, and we'll leave you to your rest, as I'm sure you're tired after the night's events.
So thank you, and they kind of like finish off putting their stuff away and start to head off into the camp.
Okay, so I'd probably so I turn to Jonas and say it would probably be best for us to go and find Thonan and maybe go and investigate this hut before returning to discuss a bit more permanent action.
I agree. However, I would also say that I might be best to go in alone initially, as some of my previous skills might aid me in getting some information in a more subtle fashion than us just wandering in.
I think that sounds very sensible. We will go find the others first and then decide how to progress.
Awesome.
So we'd go back to the hut. Do we find this mess lying around doing very little?
No, all we find is a do-nothing bitch not doing anything.
She's been busy. Don't stop insulting her.
She doesn't know I'm saying anything.
Yeah, I know, but
it's because he's not saying in character; he's thinking it.
He's thinking it. His characters be like, "She's a do-nothing bitch." Yeah, you
to be fair, we're all thinking that right now. Because she's a do-nothing
she does
bitch.
nothing.
She'll do stuff.
And
Maybe.
she's a bitch.
She's doing her job. She's
She's a
walking
do-nothing.
about and being a prospect, and you guys are being protected. That's fine. Everyone's fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, you meet up with Mira, and Thonan's just kind of like eating whatever he can get his hands on at the moment, just to try and fight his way through this hangover. I'm assuming you like relay what you've learned to them.
Yeah, so we would explain the situation with the hut. Explain that the chief also has not decided what his actions are going to be against the town, but I do think that he is coming very close to doing a bit more of a military action upon the lumber yard. So I'm sure that we could be he could be persuaded to let us help in that if we so decided. we may find the girls in this hut, or we may find nothing at all. But it is at least a start for going to check. Jonas suggested that he would maybe go first and scout it out, and then relay back what he finds.
Cool. So yeah, Thonan, you alright?
No. Right, so this idiot doesn't have the kids.
The kids are not here, no.
He doesn't
But
know where the kids are.
he has suggested that this hut that has been seeing a lot more action than normal, maybe where they're being kept.
That sounds like an awfully specific hint for someone who doesn't know where the kids are.
He never suggested that. He's mentioned nothing about the kids. This is what we are taking from the information that we've been provided. It is the strongest lead that we have had while we've been here.
Well, fuck, it might as well, 'cause these people don't have the kids, and they have pretty much nothing to offer us, I don't think.
I think the only thing that they have to offer us is potential
More booze.
payment for assisting them in the
Well,
removal
they
of
fucking
the
could have
lumberyard.
and fucking, like, poems, like, who cares?
You do not know the wealth of my people.
I don't know it because it doesn't exist, so let's go check out this hut.
I just kind of put my
I
hand
just-
on Hakon's arm and just like, yes, let's go check out this hut.
I just tap my bag, shake my head, and then wander out.
Okay, so you guys head off towards. You were given like a kind of. It's not a map. It's like a kind of. You know more what it is, Hakon. Like it's a way of. Like it's a way of writing out like coordinates and like ways of moving around areas.
Yeah, it's like a description rather than like a drawn map.
Yeah, it's
Sort of thing.
it's kind of like cryptic in the way it's
Yep.
done. But yeah, you can kind of know what you're doing with it. So
I would
Um,
probably spend a little bit of time doing a very rough and very basic explanation of it to Jonas, just in case we were to get separated.
okay, so on this map you basically got 3 marked out points, which are the 3 different areas they've got within the forest. You notice that one of them is quite nearby to the town, as in like just out the back of the town. Like probably if you go in about 5 minutes into the forest, that's where the first one is. That's in the smallest clearing, and it's one that you can assume that they've not really been to for a very long time. Like since the town started getting built up, that was probably one that they were previously in, and they've just never went back. The second one's further in, but it's much the same idea, which is it's too close to the town for them to bother with or risk going to. The third one is slightly further into the forest and towards the lumber mill, and it's kind of like slightly far. It's actually further into the forest than where you are just now. But like obviously, if you came from the other side, you wouldn't have to go that far to get to
Yeah,
it.
of course.
So yeah,
Is that the one that's had the most activity?
Yeah, that's the one they've seen most people going to.
Yeah. I would say we just go straight for that one.
Cool.
Makes sense. So maybe we approach to within a considerable distance of it,
Right. Well,
and then send Jonas off.
we'll take another break because that's another hour. And then when we come back,
Awesome.
we'll head off to that little place. Cool.